Hi, I'm Rocco Stano with KidLit TV, and we're here at the National Book Awards Teen Press Conference, and we recruited some student reporters, and I'd like them to introduce themselves. So, here we go. You are?
My name is Cheyenne. I go to St. Mark's, and I'm in 7th grade.
And?
My name is Angelica Marca. I'm from the Young Women's Leadership School, and I'm in 9th grade.
And you are?
I'm Micah. I'm in 9th grade, and I go to St. Anne's School.
And they did a great job.
Hello, we're here with Jacqueline Woodson, author of Brown Girl Dreaming, and I'm here to ask you, when you were growing up were you writing poems and then storing them in a book until you grew up and just published it?
No, those were actually not the poems that I wrote as a child, except a little bit from the butterfly poems. But this is all the stuff I wrote as an adult. But when I was a child, I did write a lot. I don't have a lot of it, though.
I just want to tell you, these poems are extraordinary. I love them. I just want to tell you that.
I am Angelica Marca from the Young Women's Leadership School of East Harlem, and I am here with Steve Scheiking.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. And I read your book, The Port Chicago 550. It's really interesting, really intriguing.
Oh, thanks.
And I'm thinking about, what do you think people should learn from this book?
Wow, that's a good question. I hope that, first of all, it's exciting to read. Because I think history should be, no adult picks up a boring history book. So I don't think anyone your age should have to either. So it's a fast-paced story, but it is also something that you do learn about. It's a civil rights story from World War II, and a lot of people think civil rights movement started in the 50s and 60s with people like Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King, and that's true. But this story takes place in the 40s, way before that, and it shows that struggle was starting and going on even during World War II, when the whole country was supposedly fighting for democracy, and we were, except that a lot of the people in this country didn't have access to real freedom or democracy.
What advice do you give to people who want to read, who want to write, and most importantly, want to write historical fiction, non-fiction books?
Yeah. The research is the key part, so hopefully you like that. Do you like doing research? That's the key, because I spend more time researching than writing. It's called being a writer, but it's really more of a researcher, because if you can't make anything up, then you have to find everything in sources and then kind of assemble those pieces in a way that will tell an exciting story. So that's my advice, is to just spend time finding the story. You have to fall in love with it because you're going to spend time with it. Find a story that you really feel excited and passionate about. And then the writing is going to come, because the story is all there. Once you find it, it's a hard challenge to write it too, but to me the hardest part and the most important part is finding something that you really just have to tell.
Well, that was really interesting. Thank you for having a good time with us.
Yeah, great questions. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Micah Leonard from St. Anne's School, here with Elliot Troffer, author of Threatened. So I was wondering, in your book, Threatened, why you decided to give the professor so little backstory.
Yeah, so it's actually a great question. I wanted to give the professor, to make him mysterious, because Luke, the main character, is 12 years old, and he's grown up on the streets in Gabon. And so he hasn't really been exposed to a lot of the outside world. And the professor is a mysterious figure to him. The professor's from Egypt. He is a scholar, or maybe he's not telling the right story. And he has a backstory in which he had to divorce from his family, and he basically had a boyfriend in Europe. But Luke doesn't know anything like that. It's so not part of his world. So I wanted the reader to know more about the professor than Luke ever does. And so I thought it would be a nice experience for the reader to sort of put together the clues, almost like a mystery story that our protagonist doesn't fully get. Great question.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.